Welcome to today's episode of Did She Really Say That? Where we are disrupting the business world and helping women and showing women how to become millionaires. I'm your co-host here, and my name is Heidi Muma.
I'm Chef Katrina.
And I'm Karen Angeli.
And our topic today is about the 5 things female entrepreneurs have to give up if they really want to be successful in business. And this is a fabulous topic to have because giving things up, when I first heard this, I actually was like, I ain't giving up anything. Right? I'm like, I'm tired of giving shit up. We talked about this a lot, by the way.
We do. We're done giving things up. We're adding things back to our lives.
We are.
We're adding things back to business.
I feel like we've given up so much already. And yet at the same time, these 5 things that we have to give up to be successful as women in business are super important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Honestly, like when you do give these things up, there's more freedom. There's more fun. There's more enjoying the whole process.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I love all of these things. When we were talking about what are we going to specifically dive into today? And it was like the topic of letting go things. A lot of times we think in order to be successful, we have to do more. We have to keep infusing more into our business. And it's always a more game. Yeah. But when you actually go, but wait a minute, what can I let go of? That's a whole different conversation and a whole different topic. And when you start to surrender things and start to go, I don't need that anymore. This for me is something that I feel like I do in my meditation practice. What can I let go of? What piece of me isn't serving me? And I feel like when we talked about this, that's really what it was all about. Like what's not serving you?
I'm going to stop you right here because this next question or the first one is totally on you because you teach this so beautifully inside of Unlocking My Millions, which is the first thing women have to give up is self-doubt. The belief that you can't do it, don't have the resources, the people. I mean, I'm just let you go on, but self-doubt really is the first thing you have to give up if you want to create success. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, honestly, like a lot of times, in my opinion, one of the biggest things that keeps females or even males stuck in business is when you look at yourself and say, I can't. That honestly, like we have people inside the community where there are things that have come out of their mouth. And I don't know if they're noticing it, but they're saying, I can't do XYZ. Stop it. That is keeping you stuck. And it doesn't matter what comes after the words, I can't. The words I can't are now in your subconscious brain. Yeah. That is what's stuck there. That is what you can let go of. Like at the end of the day, when we're saying I can't XYZ, it really doesn't matter. You're literally just saying that this is impossible. It's a task that is like, it's too far beyond me. And therefore my business is too far beyond me. And so it's creating this subconscious program. And I talk about this all the time inside of Truth Bomb, where we have this program going on in the back of our head. And it was most likely created when we were children. This program of that believing, thinking, feeling loop. I believe that I can't. And so because I believe that I can't, I'm starting to think things like, oh, I can't do whatever. Fill in your own blank. And as a result of thinking that thought, you're now feeling probably really shitty about yourself. Honestly, you feel horrible. And as a result of feeling what you're feeling, you start to continue that cycle of believing. You're stuck in this cycle. You're literally just stuck thinking and feeling and feeling and thinking this same thing over and over again. The beautiful thing that happens is when you start to, first of all, notice. This is probably, if you want to be successful in anything, it's not positive thinking. And I can't tell you how many times, like so many gurus out there are like, positive thinking, it's the only way. The thing is that if you're thinking positively for 5 minutes out of your day, what's happening the other minutes of your day that you're not thinking positively? What loop are you stuck in? So instead of thinking positively, what would happen if you started noticing that you were thinking this way? And then when you notice, you go, wait a minute, I don't want to feel that self-doubt anymore. I don't want to feel like I can't do something anymore, because even if I don't have the skill sets right now, and this is a good way to like rewire your brain. I don't have the skill set right now, but either I can find somebody that does have that skill set, or I can continue to grow my skill set so that I can actually learn this on my own. And as a business owner, when you open up that door of possibility, that's when the universe goes, here's possibility for you. But when you just say, I can't do this, I can't do XYZ, you're infusing that self-doubt into every aspect of your business. And you're literally just reaffirming on a subconscious level that you can't do something, that you're just stuck. And there's this whole piece of this puzzle is when you actually start to notice. And then you start to go, what would I like to put in there instead? Yeah. And this is practice, friends. Okay. I did not wake up.
Practice.
Yeah, exactly. I did not wake up this morning and know exactly how to do this. But it's all about like continually noticing and practicing how you want to think and feel, which starts to eventually change that loop.
Well, and I love this too, because we talk about giving up self-doubt. And the one thing is that a lot of times we feel like, well, somebody else has done it, or somebody can do it better than I can, or who am I to say that I can do this, right? And so many times as women, we feel very small or very insignificant, like we don't have the voice or the choice to make the decisions we want to make. We don't even know the decision we have to make, right? Like we kind of put our own constraint around us. And I love when you talk about this inside of Unlocking My Millions, because it's like this first step, right? It's the fact that you, like we said, it's a long time journey, and we've been doing this for 7-10 years. Like we've been on this journey. So we're not saying for those that are first time ever hearing this that you're gonna just get it. Like we didn't just get it. No. But what we discovered inside of Unlocking My Millions and what we put together for women is we give you the baby steps. We create little mindfulness activities for you to start becoming aware. And that's the first thing that we want you to do, because your self-awareness lets go of the self-doubt. And I promise you, when we talk about Unlocking My Millions, we talk about unlocking that doubt. We talk about unlocking true freedom and belief in yourself as a woman, which doesn't exist out there in the world of business in a lot of ways. So this was really important for us when we created Unlocking My Millions inside the Truth Bomb Academy, that this was one of the first things we talk about, because it sets the tone for everything we do as women in business, right? There is only one of you, and what you have to bring to the world is extraordinary. So don't let your self-doubt keep you from that extraordinary life that you want. For sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And like you see it all the time. That's the sad thing. When you see female entrepreneurs, any entrepreneur really, stopping themselves because they're like, well, I can't do it. Like, I don't like, for like whatever excuse it is that you want to put in there that you can't do something. And it's like, stop it. Just stop. Like, just friggin' stop. If you want to get off the cycle, you have to notice. If you want to be happy in your life, it's about noticing yourself.
Yeah.
It truly is. Like, I don't know how else to say it. It's not about infusing affirmations like, I am wealthy, I am happy, I am whatever. It's about noticing yourself at the end of the day. What is it that you're doing? Like, the best way I could describe this too is, my husband years ago had like lots and lots of knee pain whenever he would run, and he loves running. Okay. So this was like, oh my God, am I going to have to quit running? Like, what am I going to do? And so I went, you know what? Let me run behind you for a second and let me just kind of notice what you're doing. And so after I did that, I said, you know what? When you're landing on your feet, you're kind of landing on the inside and then rolling out. That's really putting a lot of strain on your knees.
Yep, it
is. And whenever I said that to him, he was like, oh my God, you're right. He noticed that what I was saying, he's like, yeah, I have been doing that. And so every time he ran after that, he would notice when he would do it, and he would start to make a small change. This is about small incremental changes. This isn't like taking the whole elephant and eating it at once. It's literally about those small incremental changes that create that big change at the end of the day. And eventually you'll wake up and you'll be my husband who's like, oh yeah, I ran every day for 7 years or however long. And he's like, I don't have knee pain because I really noticed. And I started to make these small incremental changes in how I was running. This is what you're doing in business. You're noticing. And sometimes it takes an outside source. But one thing that I've learned is that the more mindful that I get, the more I get to become my own greatest teacher at the end of the day, too.
Yeah.
I get to go, ouch, I am doing that. Ouch. And I get to teach myself these things. And there's something beautiful that happens when you start to teach yourself in that way, too. Because in my opinion, like if you don't grab it for yourself, if somebody comes in and tells you what to do, everything to do, you're going to miss a lot of steps along the way. It's like you have to learn it on your own.
Yeah, you have to create, and I think women are really good at this. We've talked about this quite a bit, especially with you being a homeschooling mom, right, with your kids, is that everything gets modified, and women modify a lot of things. So it's learning to take what we're sharing with you and make it your own and how it fits in with your life, not like defining rules and regulations and boundaries, but really allowing you to create your life the way you want to see it designed, right? Which leads into the second thing, because I want to keep us moving along.
I know. I was like, I could talk about this all day.
Yeah. So the second thing that we have to give up as women in business, right? This is the fear of rejection and criticism. And we were watching a beautiful video this morning by Julia Roberts. She had posted an image, a picture of her and her niece that were having a good time. Like they were smiling, they were happy. And, you know, she put it up there and she's like, I couldn't believe the comments that showed up. And they weren't all positive. They were like, oh, you look like a man. Oh, you look horrible. You look this. So what you have to understand is that there is going to be criticism and you have to be willing just to be like, okay. And I know, Karen, you talk about this, and I know we've had this before, like there's the trolls on the internet. There are people that are not going to be on your team. And I think that was a beautiful thing that we teach inside of Unlocking My Millions is when you get really present to who's on your team, when you start seeing things like that, you're creating a barrier. You're creating a safe space around you to recognize those types of comments, that rejection, that criticism that you're going to have just means they're not on your team, right? They're not part of your tribe. They're not part of who you want in your business. But understanding the difference between who's on your team, and I was so funny. I love this. Not funny, but like really beautiful to watch. Was the women all said when we're going through Unlock My Millions, how many more people they had on their team than they realized?
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
I could keep writing who's on my team when we frame it the way we do. Because I think so many times when you look at business, they're like, well, who's on your team? And it means like, who are you hiring? Who are you going to pay? Who's this? And there's so much more available to us as women, right? In terms of connecting and finding those connections. And creating those collaborations. So yeah, the fear of rejection is definitely something you have to give up to have that ultimate success that you want in all areas of your life.
When you fear, because I think it's like, for me, it's like, I think when you fear rejection, you fear being yourself.
Yeah.
You fear putting yourself out there. And we were reading a book this week, and one of the words that stuck out with me is outrageous. And about being outrageous. And it doesn't mean you have to be flamboyant. You don't have to be the hippie or whatever, but
or have pink hair.
Or have pink hair.
No,
but be outrageously you. Be who you
100%.
want to be. And it's like if people reject you, they're like Katrina said, they're not on your team. They're not your tribe. They're not the people that you want to be part of your business. Because if somebody starts criticizing you before they're even joining you really don't want them. You don't want them as a client. You really don't. So you're weeding out those who you really, it's going to be a contentious relationship anyways, most likely, unless they have a complete mindset shift. And so if somebody's out there criticizing when you're being outrageously you, And I just love that word. I'm sorry.
I love it.
I was just like, and I was just, I think it's like to be yourself and to really to just cast aside that fear of rejection, the fear of criticism, because it doesn't matter what you do. If you're on the internet, you're going to get criticized.
100%.
And it's like, and I'm not telling you to put on a hard shell to protect yourself, because that's not the point. The point is, it's like, they're not your people. And it's like, and but I think it's like when we can actually be outrageously ourselves, first of all, you're authentic. We always talk about being authentic, and it's a heck of a lot more fun.
It is more
Yeah.
fun. And
Oh my God, yeah.
that people want to connect with. Like, you will actually draw more business to you by being authentically you, because people want, I mean, they crave that for themselves, right? And that's why we always say in your business, there's no right or wrong way to be you in your business. Just be you.
Yeah.
And it gives you that uniqueness.
Yeah.
You don't have to search for that uniqueness, because other businesses, it's like when you, and this leads into our next one about, what is it?
Following conventional advice.
Following conventional advice.
So number three, you got to give up.
Number 3, give up following the conventional advice, which is what Truth Bomb is all about.
I have this,
our mantle.
yeah. I have this friend who recently, she's been really going against the conventional advice of how to grow on social media. And she's like, fucking everything works. Like, she says this, she's like, everything works. We get so tied up in what are people doing and how can I do that too?
Right.
Stop it. She's literally like, I wonder. And this is literally, it comes from curiosity.
Oh yeah.
If you want to be successful in your business, be curious as fuck.
Always be curious.
Seriously. Like, just be like, well, I don't know, but let's see what happens. Like, that for me gives me so much freedom and so much possibility when I step into that mindset. But her curiosity led her to a place of, she's like, what if I did a TikTok and I faced away from the camera and shared all of this amazing information facing away from the camera? She's like, what would happen? And that came from a place of seeing all these TikToks where people had horrible lighting, the sound was terrible, the whatever isn't like what optimized, and they're getting viral views. Viral. Like, what is it that person's doing? They're just being authentically them.
Yeah, break the norm.
That's
Stop
it.
calling tradition.
Yeah.
has its purpose, like for some
Absolutely.
things. But like, we know, like for us in business, like there are some traditional pieces to business. Like, you have to know your audience. I've been trying to figure out how not to have those conversations. I'm like, well, you're still talking to people, so like
You really have to. Yeah.
Of it is that I'm dealing with people, and people are emotional creatures. So
Absolutely.
I can't not do that, right? And business is driven by financial success. So like, to keep the doors open, there is a monetary exchange that has to take place. Those things are kind of like business law, I guess you could say, right? Like, these are things that fundamentals that don't change. But it doesn't mean that how you approach it can't be unique for you.
When I know, because I think traditionally we always talk about like a business persona. You have a business persona. You act this way in business. You can act that way at home with your children. It's like, hell to the no.
Why?
This
Why?
is who I am, whether I'm in my business environment or I'm home. This is who I am. I don't change as a person, and I don't change my persona. I'm just like, it's like, if you don't like loud and obnoxious, you're probably not going to like me.
Cool. Oh, we did this the other day. We were at the meeting for a women's chamber, and it was so funny. The girl is running for office, and so she's been talking to us this whole time. And then she's like, "Oh, you're running for office. What are you running for?" She's like, "Hi," and the whole demeanor like, changed. Everything shifted.
Wow.
Tone of voice, the way she postured herself.
Huh.
It was like, what the hell just happened?
Wait a minute, is the same person running for office that's sitting here having coffee with us?
Yeah, like, you're now so unapproachable because you're having to put on this perceived professionalism in the political realm, right?
And that's the thing. It makes you unapproachable.
It does. That's right. It puts up this barrier. And I just remember, like, I was on that conversation, we were talking about this yesterday. So I'm on a call with a branding expert, right? Phenomenal gentleman, really does know his stuff, kind of basically verified that we do know our shit over here in Truth Bomb.
Yeah, we
really
do.
happy
We've
with
been doing
that.
this long enough.
But
Yeah.
they were like, in a year, you guys have outperformed 90% of our people that we worked with. And I was like, done, right? Like, I'm good with that. So he asked me about my personal brand, which goes against the conventional. Chef Katrina. Well, aren't you in the kitchen? No, I teach business recipes that successfully help women become millionaires.
Ooh.
Oh, that's really good. I know. But if you were Katrina Van Oudhuizen, I said, who can say that first off? Right? I struggle with it. It's my last name. I said, but I don't have to be. I said, it's not about forcing yourself to be one way and having that preconception that only a chef works in a kitchen. I can be a chef and be out in the business world creating amazing things. Chefs own restaurants. Chefs are business people. Chefs are creative. Like, why am I getting put into a box that I have to go be in the kitchen cooking on a hotline? Like, whatever. I don't believe it. So that's why we say stop following conventional advice, right? Inside of Unlocking My Millions, we let women know that you can be multi-passionate. I like that word.
I like that word.
From somebody else, right? You can have multiple things happening in your life and bring that into your business, and it's not going to make your business less successful. If anything, it brings in the element of who you are. It brings in your personality. So stop trying to be niche down, focus on one thing. Hell, even inside of Truth Bomb, inside of Unlocking My Millions, that training has sub-training.
So many facets. Yeah.
Because we couldn't fit it all in just one box. We're like, but let's go dance. Oh, wait, there's this. Let's go color. Oh, wait, there's this. Let's go like talk to people. Like, we couldn't contain it in like the traditional, conventional delivery because it didn't make sense to us. It was like, this is broken. Can we fix it?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what's number 4?
So number 4 that you have to give up. Oh, this is gonna be a tough one, ladies. The 4th thing you have to give up to be successful in your business: control.
No.
Oh, yes. You have to give up control.
Okay, so this is something that really, like, when I talk about meditation a lot, right? Like, hello, like, I really like it. So this is something that when you are truly in a deep state of meditation, you have to give up control.
Oh, yeah.
So, because here's the thing, if you're trying to control the situation, if you're trying to control the meditation and go, I want to feel XYZ in my meditation, like, you're missing the point, because now you're like in your analytical brain trying to control things, right?
Yeah.
So when you are in a state of mindfulness, meditation, just being self-aware, there is an aspect of just letting go. And it's that noticing once again. Like, literally, that I feel like everything comes back to this. Like, all these questions, like all these things you need to let go of. If you want to let go of them, you got to notice them, right? Like, notice when you're going into a state of, I have to control what's happening. And one of the things that gives me so much joy, like more joy than I could even imagine possible, is when I notice and then I allow. That is hard. Let me tell you, when things are not going the way that you anticipate, and you have this thought of how things need to look, when you just go, you know what? That's what happens. This is part of it. This is something I keep saying over and over to one of my friends. It's just part of the process. This is the process. Why am I trying to control it? I make myself nuts when I try to control it. And so I got to a point 3 years ago when I was like, I'm tired of controlling. I was a different person. Yes.
It's so exhausting to try to say, I'm the only one that can do my finances, my business, my family, my cooking, my this, my that. Like, it is mentally, talk about
exhausting.
decision fatigue. Decision fatigue is true. Like, if you don't give up control somewhere, you will literally wipe yourself out and create the hardest level of burnout you'll ever experience.
Right. Yeah. And it's like, it's such a difficult thing because there's this fine line between intending for something and surrendering. There's this fine line. And sometimes I overintend, sometimes I over surrender. I get it. Like, I'm there with you. I am literally in that river with you guys. Like, as I'm looking at my business, I'm like, how do I intend and surrender at the same time?
Yep.
it's a beautiful dance though, when you start to notice these things that you're doing and going, how can I let go a little bit more? How can I release what my expectations are and just go in with possibility?
And it points back to even what we've done here together. Like when we came together to form this truth bomb business, right? Because we really said women need to hear these truth bombs because they don't exist and there's no one to model this female business process and method and recipe that we're creating, right? So it became more about like, what do I have to surrender? What kind of control do I want it to not have to be controlled over? Because the thing is that it'll happen. Like, I love the fact that we have women that have reached out to us and says, how can I help you do this? My strength is in this, right? So we have a fourth member that works with us that she is a processor. She's an integrator, and she's helped us integrate something so beautifully into our business. But it was like, we were okay with that. Like, it is really, I will tell you, it's a phenom for most businesses to have 3 women running the business and get along as well as we do and still drive forward what we're doing, right? The thing is that we've all had to give up some form of control around owning this business, and we have
100%.
focused on instead, what is your genius, right? Where do you want to go play in this business? Like, where do you find yourself more energy, more of your time? Because that's where I need you to focus. And then we will eventually, all 3 of us, we catch the little like things that need to be caught. Like, oh, hey, by the way, we need to check this. Oh, okay, like this. And we catch each other, but we're focused in on things that make us happy.
Absolutely.
Things that bring us our joy and bliss. And that's the best part, is that we've been told for so long, at least I have in this business, that you don't want a business partner because they're vindictive and they're crazy, especially women.
Catty.
Right? They're
What
catty.
in the world? No,
Yeah.
no, bullshit.
I don't know what women you've been hanging around with.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Bullshit.
But we're told like women are catty, women are bitchy, that it's impossible for a group of women to come together to form a business. And I know for us, we've broken the norm. I know we've got another group of women that we know that have done phenomenal. There's five of them, Karen?
5 of them. Yeah.
5 of them that are really running together business. And again, we're told that this isn't the norm. Well, that's because we broke the unconventional. We weren't trying to do it on our own
We gave
anymore.
up number 5.
We gave up all of our excuses. Yeah. So the third thing,
The
as
fifth.
Fifth. 5. We're at 5, Katrina. Wow.
We got 5 stars for review.
Yeah. She snuck that in there. Like, oh, if you want to give us a review on our podcast, we'll take 5 stars.
We'll take 5 stars.
So the fifth thing you have to give up, right, in order to be a successful female entrepreneur, is your excuses. And give up all your excuses around why you can't do this. And again, it goes back to that self-doubt and everything we've just talked about, but you've got to give up the excuses of whatever is holding you back from building this business.
100%.
And the thing is that we're not telling you not to spend time with your family. Like, I'm tired of that being like, well, I need to spend more time. Spend time with your family, build a business.
Please do.
That was the one thing we said, right? That we want to show women how to blend and blur the traditional way of building a business
And rest.
Right? No more excuses. But it's not just about taking action. I hear that all the time. Like, you've got to take consistent action. You have to play for the long term. Yes. And
Please,
for women, you do want to play the long game. So what we do inside of Unlocking My Millions is that we start with, what is it you want to create? And for how long do you actually want to create this for? And what does this look like? Is this a temporary thing? Is this the long play for you? How is this going to fit into your life? How does this affect your children now, in the future? Your as a caregiver, what does this all look like? Right?
And so, how does it feel?
How does it
feel in your inner core? What you're creating, how does that make you feel?
Yeah. And then let go of the excuses of not doing this, but it really does. I'm getting like the chilies all over. But it really is about letting go of the excuses that you've got so much on your plate, because we recognize that as women. And I've been told by more male business gurus that they wish they could help more women have success, but they just don't have the experience of being a female. So they don't always know exactly what emotionally that we are going through, but our emotions help us really make amazing choices.
And here's the thing that's sad. Like, this just popped in my head, and I almost wonder if this is totally off the beaten path, but I wonder if it's because the men are not asking the questions and then learning how to rephrase the question when it doesn't make sense. Like, I wonder if as a male, like whether you're a spouse, a mentor to a female, or just a friend to a female, like maybe it's not about asking the question in the way that makes sense to you, but asking yourself, how can I re-ask this question? I think we do this beautifully inside of Truth Bomb. This actually happened. It came up this Tuesday where we asked a question and somebody was like, I have no idea how to answer this question.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we're going through this exercise, I remember like being like, well, how could we ask that so that it would make more sense to you? And somebody piped in and was like, I think if you asked it this way, this might help. And once it was asked and posed in that way, that member was like, oh my God, yeah, now I can just flood this paper with all the answers.
Yeah.
And so it's just about asking and rephrasing and how can I do something a little bit differently? I mean, I feel like this, even though it's off the beaten path, this is another way to let go of excuses too of, well, I can't help these people. Like a male mentor saying, well, I can't help these people.
Yeah.
That's an excuse.
It also plays into the whole thing around like, I'm not good with money. I can't do that. Like those are some of the excuses. But when we learn what we really have been at work with a lot of what we're building for women is that we have been looking at how do we rephrase this? How do we relanguage this so that it's a language that we as women can feel, experience, and understand so that we can provide the response that really drives our business forward. So we've really had to look at that because that became a big piece of what we're building is that we have the traditional format, but we've really had to tear apart and reimagine and reword a lot of that so that there was a more to it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Are we ready?
And with that, we thank you for listening to our podcast today. If you might have heard you say, it's like, did she really say that? Because we do. We have fun. We have a lot of fun in here. So if you haven't already, you want to grab your Female Millionaire Code, where you will 3M your profits. The link is down below. It's a free webinar that you will really like. And if you like what we have to say, 5 stars. 5 stars.
5 stars.
And if you're following us on our podcast on YouTube, definitely give us a subscribe or thumbs up. We appreciate that too. But we love having you part of this conversation. So if you're a woman in business, just getting started or already in business and struggling, then we invite you to unlock your millions and really take part in the Female Millionaire Code. Let us help you become unlocked. I don't know what else to say.
Become a millionaire.
Become a millionaire.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Bye.